it's state law. The law says if we do not complete it, I have no legal authority. And I do not certify. I do an unofficial report to the Election Candidacy Commission. They're the ones that do the certification. If I do not have my unofficial, second set of unofficial results into them by Wednesday at 3 o'clock, then they will use my original figures in the certification.
And they will certify those in spite of numerous reports of irregularities.
That's my understanding.
We probably are not going to really update the media or anything until about 3 o'clock. And then at 6 o'clock again, 6 o'clock again, after we have canvassed the provisional ballots, we will update, and we will also give a report as to the number of military and overseas ballots that have come back in to date.
I'm objecting to these proceedings because we're here today as citizens to observe the public counting of the vote. What we are watching are people opening machines. We don't know from what precinct. We do not know that the seal numbers that are on those machines match any log anywhere, and we are not being given those seal numbers.
Were you able to see a screen?
I was, and then I was told that I couldn't stand there.
You couldn't stand where you had a vantage point?
The arbitrary blue line,
Are they calling out any vote numbers to say, you know, which candidate by how many votes? Or
no, it's a printout. They seem to do it. They do machine by machine until they finish a precinct, and then they print it out at the end of the precinct.
What Florida law says from beginning to end, from the testing of the equipment through the certification of the election, is that this is supposed to be a public process and open to the public in every aspect, and that we are to be able to observe and witness, meaning we can see the totals.
But is there anything that says that they have to read it off like you suggested?
No, but tell me, the law is clear that we are to witness the count. Tell me, standing back here, how we are witnessing the count. We are watching people open black boxes with machines in them. We are not getting totals. We are not witnessing the count.
if they duplicate that ballot, will observers be watching?
They should be, but I don't know that anyone is. I mean, I'm afraid we have a lot of observers who are really not sure what to be looking for. And the fact that no public observers, no members of the public were not allowed in until noon means that we didn't have Susan or anyone else able to see the breaking of the seals on the 25 or so precincts that have already been counted. And the observers sitting against the wall aren't really doing anything. I mean, they're looking at a distance. They're watching a show going on, 20 feet away. That's really not the point.
Please remember that the state issued a technical advisory on March 3rd of this year. The Division of Elections said the purpose of this advisory was to prevent insider access, insiders being election workers and officials. In order to do that, the state said that all of this equipment and all the memory cards, the PEBs, must have numbered seals on them. There must be an absolute chain of custody. We believe that we as the public need to have a way to independently confirm that, because if you put the insiders in charge of the machines and in charge of the seals and in charge of the logs that are recording those seals, how then are you preventing insider access?
Can you guys see the vote tallies? Can you see the votes?
So if she does what you hope she does, she said she'll miss the 3 o'clock deadline, revert back to the original numbers. What's the lesser of two evils for you?
Well, first of all, she said she expected this process to take 2 days. The people at each table are recording the numbers on paper. The numbers are 6 or 7 or 8 digits long on the seal, and I think to read 310459 for 1,400 machines is not going to take an additional 8 hours of time. So based on her initial time frame, I'm not sure, she may not have thought that through properly. I don't believe that calling out the numbers would have interfered with the deadline that they're trying to achieve.
Can I ask you a couple questions? No? You want to tell me which campaign you're with?
Did she just satisfy your concerns, or are you going to pursue this further?
She did not satisfy my concerns. I don't know if you all agree, but we might as well be sitting downtown all talking to each other down there because we really have no idea what they're doing.
Okay, I just want to know if the observers were able to approach the machines.
It's, you know, like you said, it's a black box with a memory card. I mean, so
If you
unless you're looking at the source code or the firmware,
right.
And
yes, and the bottom line is you're absolutely right. Even with all these procedures in place, if it were completely public, we still have the votes being counted on secret proprietary software, so it is not the public counting of our votes. However, the very least we would expect and demand is that the procedures be open and public. That's the minimum that you would want. Beyond that, you're absolutely right. We have no way of knowing if there are computer programming errors or if it's been malicious.
What you're talking about is on a very basic level, you want to see the seal be broken.
Right, and to know...
Which would be the case for even if there was a box full of paper ballots. You would want to see the seal.
And we do that in our county. That's absolutely right. Okay. And we find that they say, oh no, that was open for this reason, and that was open for that reason, and that the seals don't always match. They tell you that they do before they start, but when you're actually there recording it, you find that they're not all the same.
Right.
How close are the observers to the machines?
The observers are far enough from the machines that they can't begin to tell what's going on. I would estimate at least 20 to 25 feet and not able to see what's going on at all. I'm very curious how people get to be observers.
Have you been an observer?
My tag says public, but I do not have the next level of observer.
You have to represent a candidate or a party.
Is that what no one's explained that, so is that what how you get to be an observer as opposed to just the public?
Right, well it's in the statutes as well. They said that you could not observe unless you were with this race, which I don't...
And the statute on witnessing the count just says as many as 3 people.
There are some observers with gold stars and some without. What was needed to be an observer rather than simply a member of the public?
Basically, it boiled down to space in here. We wanted to allow both of the parties and both of the campaigns to have access as observers. We also had officials from the Department of State and attorneys and folks from the United States Congress, the House Administration Committee. There are some folks here that are supervisors of elections that came to observe. There are folks here from election systems and software that are strictly here to observe. And I'm not 100% sure who got what. I think it was the Department of State and anyone else that got, my attorney got a gold star for doing such a good job. That's how we did that. Ray.
Excuse me, I'm so sorry, but I would like to show the canvassing board the statute. I was asked for the statutory authorization.
Can I get something to write something down with? Hold on one second.
This is statute number 104.29.
Okay.
And it says, inspectors refusing to allow watchers while ballots are counted. It's only 10 lines, so I'm going to read it. The inspectors or other election officials shall, at all times while the ballots are being counted, and these are our ballots, these are our electronic ballots being counted, shall at all times while the ballots are being counted allow as many as 3 persons near to them to see whether the ballots are being correctly read and called and the votes correctly tallied. And any official who denies this privilege or interferes therewith is guilty of a misdemeanor of the 1st degree, punishable as provided in statute 775.082 or 775.083.
Okay, so let me go back to the board. Since I am trying to accommodate, they've gone around and we'll pull out our statute book and take a look at that for you, okay?
Yes, thank you. And again, for anyone who didn't get it, it's statute 104.29.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
What was your name again?
My name is Susan Pynchon.
All right, thank you, Ms. Pynchon. This is this election day.
No,
I'm gonna look at it. I want to look at it, obviously, but we'll take a look.
That's the penalty phase, and it's election day.
no, that is whenever the ballots are being counted.
We shall take a look at that, okay?
Yeah,
If
your
you can't see the
Democratic.
precinct numbers, you can't see the
Exactly.
what's
Here.
going on then.
I think you're going to have to get that on the record with the canvassing board.
Well, yeah, but they're right now they're just exploring it. Here.
No, but I think from an observer's point, an observer has to ask, can I see the count on the machine? And they have to tell you directly
and-
yes
well,
or no.
They
Here,
essentially
read the
told us no
statute
in this
first,
part.
right?
It's with me, so you'd hear what we're doing, okay? We'll get, just 1 second, okay?
Okay. This is what we have decided that we're going to do, if it's okay with the commissioner and the judge. Because people want to be in here looking, anyone who has observer credentials, as long as they do not interfere with the process, you may get up close and personal with the teams, and you can watch. Please do not try and interfere with or ask questions to the folks that are there. They have a job to do. It's a tedious job. We don't want mistakes, because if there are mistakes, we'll have to do it over again. So,
I'm sorry, just to interject. Per statute, up to 3 people observing.
Well, up to 3 people observing the county. What we're going to do as the canvassing board, if it's okay with you all, is we're going to have 3 people here as we read off the totals tapes to each, so you will be hearing what is printed off on each of these machines. And then maybe 3 people to come over to the canvassing board to observe that as well. So can we have 3 people from the audience who want to observe that? I would prefer to have Sarasota County voters.
Are you excluding media?
I prefer to have
from
somebody who knows what they're
observing?
doing.
Yes.
Are you excluding media from observing?
Yes.
Ms. Dent, I don't think you have the discretion to make a decision as to who's going to come forward. She volunteered and no one else did.
She knew the statute, she knew the law. You ought to let her in there to continue to do her job as a citizen.
I mean, nice try, but...
No, hold on 1 second. She can be there.
I said I would prefer, because I'm the supervisor of all of the voters of Sarasota County. I said I would
But does
prefer that. It does not say she
trump
can't do it.
the Florida statute?
No, we're gonna, she can be there.
What about observing the machines?
Sure, okay, you're allowed.
How do we know these tapes came off of those machines if we're not observing the machines as well, up close and personal?
Because these folks have been over here watching them print these tapes out.
I see the folks sitting here, I don't see them by the machines.
Well, I just said they can go by the machine.
Oh, okay, because the guy just told me he wasn't able to go by the machines.
Not right now. Yes, we'll let you list.
Definitely. What we're trying to do is get this process going while we're trying to accommodate everybody and all your questions, but we'll get you certainly that and allow those to get close to
Okay, we have Chris, we have this gentleman, and we have Ms. Pynchon. She's from the Democratic Party. What party are you with?
There you go.
The Green Party. That
Party.
works.
All right.
Susan Pynchon.
All right.
Is that
Very
fair?
good.
Sounds good.
Does everybody think that's fair?
Ms. Pynchon, you obviously will be there as well. Okay, wait, you need to speak up so I can hear.
I believe that the public should be allowed to actually stand at the machine, get the seal number, and watch the process, which is actually what the law says.
And these folks are public, and I'm not preventing the folks in here from doing that. There are representatives from the Democratic Party, representatives from the Republican Party, there are representatives from Christopher Jennings' campaign, and representatives from Vern Buchanan's campaign. They are part of the public. There are also folks here from both sides of the United States Congress House Administration Committee. We've got Democrats and Republicans both here, and they're all part of the observers. Well,
just one question. If anybody would like to know what to look for in those machines, if you'd like to just come and talk to me briefly so that you know what you should be looking for, you're allowing them to stand and actually watch the process.
Absolutely,
If
absolutely.
anybody would like to just come up here quickly, I can just...
We're going to start with this process, so We've got the Green Party, whatever party Ms. Pynchon is from, and
Just don't stand in our way. That's all we ask.
Yeah.
Commissioner?
Vern Buchanan, 113 votes. Christine Jennings, 198 votes.
Undervotes, 52.
Precinct 20. Vern Buchanan, 225. Jennings, 404. Undervotes, 55. Precinct 71. Vern Buchanan, 293. Christine Jennings, 364. Undervotes, 153. Precinct 86. Vern Buchanan, 395. Christine Jennings, 366. Undervotes, 147. 104. Vern Buchanan, 197. Christine Jennings, 204. Undervotes, 110.
You know, please help us here. Help us. You're right next to me. Help us.
Your voice just blurred.
You're slowing us down. Help us.
Buchanan, 307, 246, and undervotes 115.
This is precinct 44. And Vern Buchanan, 448. Christine Jennings, 413, with an undervote of 250.
Have you observed from behind the machines where they're doing that?
Yes.
So you've got full access around the machine now?
There is full access.
Okay.
I have a request to make. We have had some objections to people just wandering around. Any observer that is observing should be observing a team that is collecting votes. They should not be wandering around among the machines. You should stay with a team. There have been objections. Well, then you're going to have to observe. They're not in any order. When that, as you get, as they get to that precinct, you'll be able to observe them opening that precinct. There are some folks that are concerned about having people wandering around, and it's not, it's not me. I had a request, so.
Mrs. Dent, might I suggest if you have a precinct that's specific, why don't you put it to us in writing so we can let everybody know instead of keeping it secret until we pass out. So if you have very specific precincts, give it to us in writing. We'll sign. We'll vote on it. Well, all right.
When you get to precinct 85, please, will you notify, someone notify us, so these folks would like to observe the recollecting on precinct 85. Before you break the seal, okay? Can you folks get away from the activators here, please?
So everybody knows the canvassing board is going to take 30 minutes for lunch, so we can sit down. There will be no business conducted. We will not be doing these counts, not for 30 minutes. Thank you. We'll reconvene right here and do the same thing as we did. And so we'll let you know when we're going to start rereading them out again. You're welcome.
And those tapes, are they printed fresh off the machine?
I believe these tapes are coming off the machine. We were not right there to see it, but it appears that they are bringing the tapes now directly over. I think we've made a small improvement in the process. We're not nowhere near close to having the public counting of the vote, but we're getting a lot closer than we were at the beginning of the day, or somewhat closer.
Okay, so what do you think about the process today? You just spoke to me about some things about not very organized, or I don't know what your exact words are.
Well, I mean, it seemed to have got off to a late start. The consistency from one recount table to the next, there is no consistency. I think this is something they haven't handled here before, and that's why there's a lot of, just last-minute decisions being made. Whether or not that affects what's going on here, we're not sure. We just want to make sure that this recount goes smoothly, it's finished on time, and that all the votes are counted.
I would like to tell the media.
Tell the media, I asked for 3, 4 times. This is the 5th time. Please, we want a break for lunch.
I would like to tell the media what just happened here, please. We were told that they were going to go, and we pointed out one precinct to them, precinct 85. We were told that they would not pull that precinct specially, and that they were going to go through the normal process. I just saw a man with a recount tag on walking, looking at all the machines, and I asked him what he was looking for, and he said he was looking for precinct 85. I asked Mrs. Dent what he was doing, Supervisor Dent, and she said she didn't know. I would like to know why they're looking for precinct 85 when we were told they were going to go through the normal process, and now we're being told to leave for lunch. And I would like to see where precinct 85 is, and I think it should now be counted next, because now there seems to be an issue if the elections office is looking for that precinct. It's very strange. I think it's strange that we were told it was being done one way and they're going and looking for that particular precinct. And I'm sorry to sound this way, but we were told a specific procedure was being followed. And now the gentleman told me he was specifically looking for that precinct. I'm going to be right here. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to go stand where I can see what he's doing.
Is somebody watching those machines during lunch?
I am. We have now more access to this process than we did when we started this morning, but we still are we've been now just told one thing and something else appears to be happening. I have no idea what that means. I'm not making any accusations, but the Supervisor of Elections stood there and said they would not pull any special precincts. I don't know if the media heard that, but one of the observers had asked for that precinct. She said they would not pull any special precincts, that they would get to it in order. And then when I saw an employee just walking amongst the machines, I asked him what he was doing, and he said he was looking for precinct 85. So I don't know why, but it just seems odd to me.
Okay, everybody, let me explain to you what was happening. We were going to stop for lunch, and the process was going to stop. Apparently, they were in precinct 67. And what they were going to do, they started that precinct at 12:30, and they were trying to finish that precinct before they broke. So that's what they were doing, is finishing the machines in precinct 67, and so now they're stopping. I was unaware, but now it's stopped, okay? That was what was going on, and we're trying to complete the one precinct with all the machines, okay? So now everything is stopped, and will not reconvene, I promise you, until lunch is over.
What about the absentees? Are they stopping that as well?
Yes.
Okay, because I think they're still going.
Okay, well, now I'm just telling you, they're stopping.
They're done, okay?
They're done, okay.
They stopped.
All right. Maybe they were just trying to figure out where it was.
So what prompted the rather harsh tone by the Supervisor of Elections?
Oh, she got, once I said, well, I'm sorry, but this gentleman told me he was looking for precinct 85. Then Supervisor Dent appeared to lose her temper at that point and ordered me back behind the barricades because she said they were breaking for lunch. And I continued to try to ask her why that gentleman was looking for that specific precinct. And then she really got quite upset with me.
So at that point during lunchtime, you're not allowed to look at the equipment or monitor?
No, you're not. And one of the problems, of course, was that after she said that and made all the observers leave, they continued to count votes for one precinct. I saw them take out 2 more machines and open them up, so they've now stopped that process while they've supposedly broken for lunch.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
It wasn't surprising to me when there was a problem here, and I came today just to find out what's going on. I'm really curious about this process.
What are you thinking about what you're seeing here today? Do you have any impressions?
I think it's great the public is involved in this process because it's obvious that the people here are having an effect on how this is being conducted, that there wasn't a complete awareness of election law by the people here doing the recount.
Good job.
And there were several times when Susan came forth and reminded the workers here the people in charge of election law, and it actually changed how things were being conducted.
Right. Yeah, it seems like the people in this seems like the people in this.
Ms. Pynchon, you just found out what?
I'm just absolutely astounded that we just found out, and I'm going to confirm this with the canvassing board, that when they're opening every one of these voting machines, and I'll stand here so you can see the machines behind me, as they're opening these voting machines, they are not recording the seal numbers that are coming off the machines. They're just throwing the seal in the bag. There's a plastic bag on the top. Each stack of machines is a precinct. Each of those voting machines has a blue tag on it that is a seal number supposed to show that that machine has not been opened since election night.
It was sealed by the clerk?
It should have been sealed by the clerk in the polling place, and this is supposed to show that that the seals have not been broken since election night. When they take those seals off, they should be recording those numbers, and I've just been told, and again I have to confirm, that they're not recording the seal numbers, that they're just throwing them in the plastic bag, which has all kinds of other seals in it. If we wanted to go back and assure ourselves, in other words, they could have taken the seal off election night and thrown it in that plastic bag, and now when we go back and say, well, where's the seal number from election night, they'll say, oh, see, it's here in the bag. But we don't know that it's the seal that got taken off now. They could have taken it off election night. This is absolutely, if this is true, this absolutely, in my mind, invalidates this entire process. We have no way of knowing, of knowing whether this is a real process. And it also makes it clear why they did not want to call out the seal numbers.
We have had some delays today, and it has slowed the process down. And
what are those delays?
What are those delays? There have been some procedural questions, and I think we took a half an hour for lunch. As a part of the audit process, which is separate from the recount process, the Department of State has asked for the election parameters to be turned over to election systems and software so that they can also assist in the audit process.